What is going on, guys? So we are back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be covering 10 exercises that you should be doing in the gym if you're trying to maximize muscle growth in the gym. And before I get into this movement, I want to make it clear, something I typically encourage people to do is stay away from absolute. If you're following somebody on social media or YouTube and they tell you if you want to grow a particular muscle group, you should do this one specific exercises. There are going to be a lot of exercises that you can definitely pick from, but in my opinion, from being a coach for the last 15 plus years and being a natural bodybuilder for the last 20 plus years, these are one of my favorite movements and movements I typically recommend for a lot of clients that has given them massive amount of results in the gym. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And we are going to be going through this list from head to toe. And the first body part that we are going to talk about is going to be chest. One of the movements that I think you should definitely be doing in the gym is going to be flat dumbbell press. And I know oftentimes, yes, again, speaking of absolute, you've seen a lot of people say things like, yes, in order for you to have big, massive chest, you need to be bench pressing. And you have another camp telling you, no, you shouldn't bench press because it's highly injurious. That is simply not true. There's nothing wrong with bench press. Research has definitely shown you can get a better stimulus from dumbbell press. And one of the things I like about dumbbell press also is allows you to adduct a little bit more when you're pressing compared to like a bench press, for instance. Bench press movement, your hand can be in a fixed position, but in a dumbbell press, you can definitely adduct a little bit more so you can get that peak contraction, and you possibly can get a little more range of motion too. In case you don't know, in order for you to grow any muscle group, you need to make sure you are taking that muscle group through its full lengthen and shorten range of motion. So exercise number one, dumbbell press. You can definitely use a different variation. If you like upper pec like most people do, I would say incline bench variation should be your best bet. Jumping into shoulders, movement number two that you should definitely be doing is dumbbell lateral raises. The third movement that you should be doing is going to be bunched up into one. It's going to be a vertical pull variation. So vertical pull variation can be from lateral, from lat pull down, underhand pull down, or neutral grip pull down, or any pull down variation. So if I have to pick between any of those three, I'll definitely pick underhand lat pull down. And the reason being, yes, it bites a little bit of your bicep into that movement. It covers your lower lat. You can throw a little bit of upper back into that, depending on how you can adjust your torso. If you are a little more upright, you can get a little lower lat into that movement. Or if you are a little bit more leaning, you can definitely alternate, or you can adjust your arm so you can bias your upper back a little bit more. And the reason why I'm bunching the pull variation together is because you have so many to choose from. It's just going to be dependent on what you feel the most mind-to-muscle connection with. And oftentimes, most people typically have a better connection with the underarm pull down, and you probably can get a little bit stronger with the underarm variation and feel a little more connection to your upper back, your lower lats, and you get a filthy pump from that compared to, let's say, like a lat pull down or neutral grip, for instance. Jumping into movement number four, that's going to be a cable bicep curls. Yes, there's nothing wrong with, easy bar curls, barbell curls, dumbbell curls, but I love cable bicep curls. And again, the reason why I love the cable bicep curls is because you can definitely adjust that variation into, and oftentimes if you use a cable movement, you have the opportunity to eliminate some body English being thrown into that movement. So cable curls will be my fourth movement that you should definitely be doing. Jumping to movement number five is going to be none other than cross-body tricep extension. In the last year or so, this has been one of my favorite movement for my tricep growth. And personally for me, I don't do a lot of tricep movement just because my tricep typically overpowers my biceps, so I do a lot of bicep movements. But if you're looking for that one particular movement that's just going to annihilate your triceps, I highly recommend cross-body tricep extension. Of course, you don't have to do cross-body. It can just be a cable rope tricep extension or using a V-bar cable extension. So movement number six, keeping in the upper body still, that I'm going to add into the variation is going to be barbell row variation. I've made a video in the past, social media, talking about if you want to grow a bigger back, you should stop doing barbell bent over row. Movement number six is not going to be barbell row, but the movement that you should be doing is going to be chest supported row. So chest supported row variation can be incline dumbbell chest supported row, or it can be a horizontal chest supported row movement. It can be T-bar row variation. Any sort of chest supported row movement is definitely something you should definitely be added into the gym. When you're comparing barbell row to chest supported row movement, the stimulus to fatigue ratio from those movements are highly different. When it comes to barbell row movements, oftentimes the lower back is going to fatigue out before the muscle that you actually are training is going to fatigue out. So when you add a chest supported element, it allows you to focus on the back specifically and not have to worry about your lower back fatiguing out before the muscle that you're actually trying to focus on fatiguing out. So chest supported movement variation could be vertical row, could be T-bar row, could be chest supported horizontal row, or could be chest supported incline dumbbell row. So jumping into movement number seven, it will transition into lower body. It's highly going to be controversial, especially for somebody that's known for having a pretty good squat technique. The movement that we definitely keep is going to be some sort of hack squat squat or machine squat variation. And again, this video is not to say this movement is better than the other. If you can squat, I say yes, go for it. I like machine squat because it allows you to focus on just the stimulus instead of the fatigue. Yes, from a functional standpoint, squat is a great movement, but solely we are talking about just to grow a particular muscle group, just to grow lean tissue mass, focus on the investment that you need to make in that stimulus bucket. I would definitely go with the Smith machine squat or hack squat variation. One of those two is going to be movement number 7 for me. At the end of this video, I'm going to tie everything together to give you a little more rationale why I am choosing a lot of these movements. And jump into movement number 8, transition to hamstring. Hamstring is going to be any sort of lying or seated leg curl variation. And the reason why you want to choose some of this movement because it's going to allow you to, one, shortening your hamstrings. And if I had to pick between seated leg curl or lying leg curl, I'm going to go with seated leg curl just because it requires less of a technical aspect when it comes to leg curls. Lying leg curls, oftentimes you need to make sure your hips is internally rotated so you can shorten the hamstrings. Then you have to make sure your hips is nice and quiet throughout the movement. But seated leg curls, all you need to do is sit down and just typically focus on just curling, and that's about the technical aspect for a seated leg curl. So seated leg curl is definitely going to be movement number 8. And of course, we're transitioning back to quads, and that's going to be leg extension. When it comes to squat variation, you are focusing more on the lengthened position. And when it comes to leg extension, you are focusing more on the shortened position. That's the peak contraction there. Leg extension is going to be movement number 9. And last but not the least, movement that you should definitely be doing if you're trying to prioritize your strength gains in the gym, that's going to be RDLs. The counter to what somebody might give to this movement is why not deadlifts. I like RDLs over deadlifts just because, again, the stimulus that you are going to get from RDLs, and you can engage or bias that movement a little bit to recoup either glute or hamstring focus. So RDLs is going to be my 10th and final movement that I think you should be doing if you're trying to prioritize muscle growth in the gym. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to wrap everything up together for you guys using this key point that you should be using. It should be a driving factor when you're trying to select a movement in the gym. Oftentimes, I believe people select gyms based on emotional attachment to a gym, based on the conversations I have with a lot of people when they're trying to give a rationale. When I tell them, no, I think this movement is better than the other movement, the rationale typically is, this is not what the greats did. But that is not a logical reason for you to pick a movement because Ronnie Coleman did it, because Jay Cutler did it, because C-Bum does it. That means you should be doing it. The only context that you should be choosing exercises from is on the context of SFR, stimulus to fatigue ratio. Meaning when you get to the gym, okay, what movement is going to give me the most amount of stimulus? If I'm in the gym, spending a lot of time in the gym, I'm looking for movements I can get the most amount of stimulus from. If I want to train my back, I want my back to be focused without anything else being focused. Yes, I know you can develop your erectors by doing barbell row movements. Yes, I know squat is good for overall functionality of the body. I know that. But if your sole purpose is to grow particular lean tissue mass in the gym, your primary focus is to drive stimulus and to reduce the amount of fatigue that you are going to be generating in the gym so you can show up in the gym fresher than you were before and to keep attacking and making those gains. So moving like back squat, for instance, or axial loading, meaning you loading loads on your back, can cause a lot of fatigue and give you not a lot of stimulus. So when you go to the gym, before you choose any movement, don't choose movement from an emotional attachment because I said this movement is good for you. You should choose movement solely from the context of what movements can give me the most amount of stimulus to fatigue ratio. And again, deadlift, for instance, you get a lot of fatigue from your lower back, and you might not be getting as much stimulus from your hamstring compared to RDL when you can spare your lower back a little bit. Chest supported row can give you a lot more stimulus where your lower back is not going to be fatiguing out. So if you put that at the forefront of your mindset, I guarantee you are going to be selecting the right amount of movements in the gym. So the time that you spend in the gym can be focused on doing the right movement, investing the right amount of effort and work into the bucket that's going to allow you to look back on the amount of work that you put in the gym so you can be proud of the physique that you are building in the gym. So those are the 10 movements I will focus on if my goal is to maximize the amount of work, the amount of effort, and the amount of muscle growth that I'm trying to get out of my training program. That is the video for you guys. Let me know in the comments if you agree with any of the list of the movements that I've selected. What movement would you take out, or what movement is a must for you when it comes to building your physique in the gym? This is Sam Okunolo from Sam OK Fit, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.